Hi everyone, welcome to MJS Coaching Football and thank you for watching my channel. I do really appreciate it. Today in this presentation, I want to talk to you about part of our triple option package. Included in that would be the gun triple. So what I'm going to show you today, you could also do out of the gun. Okay, it's two of our what we call nub side schemes, and I'm going to show it to you versus what we call the 4-3 over front. Okay. So what I have up top is diagram of scheme number one, as you'll learn, and it's called what we call Michigan right formation. So it's a variation of Detroit, hence Michigan. It's in the middle of the field, and we're still following our mantra of numbers, field, and angles, right? Numbers, field, and angles. Okay. And on the bottom is what we would call scheme number two on the nub side. Okay. So over here, I'll go through the key terms first to help you better understand. Then over here, I'll diagram how we would execute the first scheme number one nub side and then scheme number two nub side. Okay. So the first key term, no surprise, number one is nub side. And what nub side to us means, as I'm sure it does to many of you, it's the short side of unbalanced. Okay, because it's an unbalanced formation, the nub is the short side. Okay, so in this case, the nub side is on our left in both diagrams. So you can see the two different schemes out of the same formation, so the same look. Okay, so the number two key term is what we call whirly. And what whirly is, it would be part of the play call. It's a slot back motion. They're going to start and tail, and on the snaps, when the ball is snapped, they redirect or return outside the play side tackle. Okay, so they're going to. So the defense thinks, oh, here it comes. They're going to the unbalanced, but then on the snap, he returns from where he started and he goes outside the play side tackle, which puts him in a position to block one of two defenders. Okay, hence our two schemes. So the two schemes. Scheme number one is we're going to block number two and we're going to pitch off the cornerback. Okay, so that's the top diagram. Number four is scheme number two. We're going to block the cornerback and we're going to pitch off a number two. Bottom diagram. So I'm not going to divulge the codes that we would use as we empower our slot back to work. Freedom within the framework is the term we use. And again, I'm sure a lot of you use that same term. But the coaching point, I don't want to pigeonhole our players, and I don't want them playing slow because they don't want to make a mistake. We give them freedom within the framework to execute either scheme number one or scheme number two, and then our tag communicates which scheme it is to the quarterback. So the quarterback knows who he's pitching off of. That makes sense, I hope? Okay. So another coaching point I think is important is you certainly got to have your clear, consistent rules. You got to practice and execute proper technique all the time. You got to protect the ball first and foremost, all those things, no question. But you also need to teach your players, empower them to give them options because things don't always look the way they do in practice in a game. So if you empower your players and give them some tools in their tool belt, right, the proverbial tool belt, then they'll be confident and they're more likely to execute full speed, play fast. And it is this simple. We teach our slots, you got this option, you got this option. Okay, you pick, then you execute. We would have taught you all those techniques, but make sure the most important thing, you communicate to your quarterback which one it is you're executing. So your two guys are on the same page because it involves just those two players. Okay? So now up top here, scheme number one. Again, not going to tell you the codes we would use. We're going to block number 2. We're going to pitch off the cornerback. Okay? So an example, the play call would be Michigan right, whirly. Tell them what motion we're going to use. Michigan right, whirly, 13 Veer. Okay, Michigan right, whirly, 13 Veer. I don't mind telling you that because you're not going to be in our huddle. And when we do go no huddle, we're not going to be using that same verbiage anyhow. We'll be using a combination of things and it won't be that. Okay? So Michigan right whirly, 13 Veer. Okay? So on the timing, he heads to tail motion. But before he does that, he identifies. He's going to block number 2. So he communicates that to the quarterback. So the quarterback knows, okay, first thing, I'm going to read my handoff key, number 1. And if it's a pull, keep, now I'm going to pitch off of number 2, the cornerback, excuse me, because we're blocking 2. Okay? So before he goes in motions, he's communicated that to the quarterback. Okay? So up front, the scheme. Okay? And we know it's whirly, we know it's 13 Veer. Guards uncovered. He's got a 5 technique. He will veer release inside B gap. Block the Mike linebacker. We'll ace the nose, the 1 technique. Okay? We will either scoop A and B, or we'll just what we say, base to white. Okay, they'll block back on the 3 and the 5. Okay? So for now, we'll say they're going to scoop. Okay? Cut off that 3 technique. Don't let the 3 technique penetrate and bend. The H is the pitch back, so because he's going in whirly, the blocking slot, this slot back has what we call no mo. That's automatic, right? We're not playing Canadian football. Okay, so we get the handoff key, we got the pitch key. On snap. Okay? We're going to assume that number 1 is crashing to take away the fullback. Okay? On the whirly. He's here. He's going to return. He's going to block the outside thigh board of number 2. Now the quarterback. Okay, so it gets a little bit messy. Now the quarterback will attack and he will pitch off of there. So what we tell him is, okay, when we run nub side, you're going to pitch unless. Okay, because this is it, baby. The only thing left is the sideline. This is a little different animal. Okay? Handoff key, told you to keep it. You keep it. So now you are pitching the ball. Unless. Okay? Nub side. Pitch. Unless. And the unless is he's running the pitch. Okay? He's running the pitch. Number 3 is way up here. If they have some kind of scheme that he's running hard inside out the quarterback, so he's going to take that pitch, he's still going to keep it because I'll bet that our quarterback's going to beat number 3, who's over the football as a half a defender. Our quarterback will beat him up into that alley. I'll take that bet every day. But nub side, because it's the short side and there's nothing else out there, pitch it unless. Okay? That's what we would call a loaded box. All right? So now down here, scheme number 2. Going to block the cornerback. We're going to pitch off a 2. Okay, block the corner, pitch off a 2. Block the corner, pitch off a 2. The good news is it's the same for everybody else. Okay? So now, let's again assume defensive end is crashing, cancel out the dive. Okay? Guess what? Keep everything the same. Pitch, unless. Pitch unless. Pitch unless. Pitch unless. Okay? We're going to block the only thing that's out there now. And he's more likely than not, he is going to be the quarterback defender. So get up there, attack him. But now pitch the football, and he's got to make the play. He's got to be able to beat number 3, who's 8 to 10 yards over the football. He's trying to scramble and not get blocked. Right? There's no more cut blocks as of this season. But he's still got to protect himself, or trying to get up, hook his outside hip. If he's doing that, he can't make a play in the pitch. So we want to pitch the football. This is still a loaded box. So let's get on the perimeter. So key coaching point, right? Freedom within the framework. So we're not saying that to the whole offense. In this case, it's the play side slot back who's blocking. We're giving him a little freedom within the framework. You're part of the perimeter scheme. You just got to tell your quarterback, are you blocking number 2 or are you blocking the cornerback? We give you that freedom, and then the quarterback reads the other guy, opposite of who you're blocking. So again, slot back's going to communicate who he's blocking. Okay? So then the quarterback, if the handoff key tells him to keep it, pitches off the other guy. Nub side scheme, real easy to accomplish. Okay, in the middle of the field, especially in the middle of the field, you got lots of field to work with, right? So the field just got that much bigger on the nub side when you're in the middle of the field, and you're executing a nub side scheme, right? Even ball on the hash, you got some area to work with, but middle of the field, oh boy. Okay? You got a lot of field, and that happens to be on the nub side. Numbers field. In this case, it's the field is the big part. Because 4.5, right? Yeah. If you see my other unbalanced presentation, 6.5, 4.5, we're going to go to the unbalanced side. But not if we like the matchup. We love the field. We love the scheme. Easy freedom within the framework. But perhaps the cornerback's not a great tackler. Perhaps number 2 is not real athletic on the nub side based on your film study. Well, that's where you go. Okay? So as I said at the beginning, I really do appreciate you watching my channel. Some different terms here today. We got loaded box. We got pitching less on the nub side. We got freedom within the frameworks, all part of our system. If you have questions, please, subscribers and non-subscribers alike, reach out to me at CoachMJSullivan at gmail.com because I would love to talk option football with you.